Hi, I'm Stefan Kesting from GrappleArts.com, and if you watch my YouTube videos, if you listen to my podcast, if you read my articles on my site, if you get my emails, then you know I'm a big fan of conditioning. And the type of conditioning I want to talk about today is cardio conditioning. I'm not saying that weight training isn't important. Weight training is super important, especially as you get older than 30, older than 40, because it keeps your body together. Yes, it makes you stronger. Yes, it makes you look better on the beach. Yes, it'll help you, get out of questionable positions when technique just isn't cutting it, but that's not the main benefit. The main benefit of weightlifting is to keep everything tight, keep everything strong so that you get less injuries and you can do more training. We'll save that discussion for another day. What I want to talk about today mostly is cardio, and in particular, efficient cardio. As I said before, I think cardio is the most important physical attribute of all the physical attributes. Because if you're tired, and I'm stealing from Daniel Santo here, if you're tired, you're not fast. The speed physical attribute goes out the window. If you're tired, you're not strong. If you're tired, you don't have mobility. If you're tired, you don't have balance. If you're tired, you're not even smart. So working on your cardio pays huge dividends when it comes to being on the mat. But what's an efficient way to get cardio? I personally like long cardio sessions, but they're not very efficient. I can only do like an hour cardio session once a week. I just don't have time for more than that. So what do? Well, I do shorter cardio sessions the rest of the time. I got through the entire phase of my kids being super young by having this 20-minute run circuit. I'd run for 5 minutes. There's a place I could do push-ups and pull-ups. I'd do push-ups to failure, pull-ups to failure, run for 10 minutes, stop at the same place on the way back, push-ups to failure, pull-ups to failure, run 5 minutes home. So in about 25 minutes, my leg got some exercise because I was running. I pushed something off my body. I pulled something towards my body, or rather I pulled my body towards something. And there's basic conditioning, and it got me through. That wasn't great, wasn't optimal, wasn't ideal. It was better than nothing. But let's say you have even less time than 25 minutes. What's the most efficient way to get your cardio? Well, you got to talk sprint work, and in particular, the type of sprint work that there's a ton of research about is something called Tabata sprints. Tabata sprints are actually very simple. You go as hard as you can for 20 seconds. Then you rest for 10 seconds. And you go as hard as you can for 20 seconds. Then you rest for 10 seconds. You do that for 8 to 12 repetitions. So you're doing 8 reps and you're going super hard for 20 seconds, easy for 10 seconds. So that's a 30-second block. You can get 8 reps in 4 minutes. I think you have 4 minutes of time. Now, add a little bit of warm-up time. I'm kind of bad about cool-down time. So you add 5 minutes of warm-up time. You get a really good workout where your lungs feel like they're about to explode in 9 minutes. That's pretty good. The thing with the Tabata intervals is some people talk about doing bicep curls with Tabata intervals. That's complete crap. You want to do something whole body, or at least lower body, as hard as you can so that you're gasping for breath. Running on a very steeply inclined treadmill is one good way to do this. Going as hard as you can on a Stairmaster where your legs are just pumping and where you're not holding your weight up with your arms, where your arms are free, is another good way. I like using the Airdyne bike, as you can see. For me, it gets a little bit of upper body, gets a little bit of lower body, it's low impact, so I like all those things, but there's many different forms you can do. I've also done it on the rower, right? If you use a rowing machine, you can also use it. You can do it on an elliptical machine. The key is going as hard as you can, and then trying to get minimal rest. Now, of course, how hard you can go is going to decrease over time. For me, it works something like this. The first couple of reps, I'm feeling pretty good. Yeah, I got this. This is going to be a really great session. Then by about rep 3 or 4, you're going, holy crap, I think I'm in over my head. Then from reps 5, 6, 7, and 8, that's just suffering. So by that point, your lungs are feeling like they're about to explode. And if you slow down, that's okay. If you're running on the treadmill and you got to dial the speed down a little bit, that's okay, so long as you're going as hard as you can. So for me, that's the key. It's maybe it's the ideal type of conditioning for Jiu-Jitsu, maybe it's not. But what it is, for sure, is the most efficient conditioning for Jiu-Jitsu. If you like going for an hour-long run, but you just don't have time, then do some kind of sprint workout. It'll translate very well. There's a big debate about what's best for Jiu-Jitsu. Is it sprint-based protocols? Is it long, slow distance, LSD training that's best? I've always found the long, slow distance to be best. So this kind of training, this Tabata sprint interval is actually not my favorite kind of training. It's a second best kind of training. My jiu-jitsu has always improved the most when I've been doing long, slow cardio. I've tested this multiple times. That's what I found that works for me. Other people, completely different. They find their jiu-jitsu jumps the most when they're doing sprint work. You have to find out what works for you. But even if this isn't the perfect system, it's the better than nothing system. And having something is better than having nothing always.